which Democrat had a showing of the film Birth of a Nation, the movie, of course, about the founding of the KKK?
I actually do have the answer on this one.
Oh, boy.
I don't. What would that be? What year would that be?
For like 1984.
And it was
10 seconds.
I don't know. Wilson.
It is Woodrow Wilson. On this face-off, we will find out which modern-day gladiators know more about the topic of the day, corrupt Democrats, both past and present. Buckle up, because it's about to be the rumble in the jungle, baby. The Jordan versus LeBron. The Joe Biden versus a flight of stairs. Who will win the ultimate showdown between Nostradamus, Michael Knowles, and the hammer of the House of Representatives, Jim Jordan? This is Face Off, Corrupt Democrats. Now, Michael, how confident are you feeling today?
After that intro, not very confident, because if it's Jordan versus LeBron, I have the actual Jim Jordan himself here. I guess I'm Michael LeBron James. I don't know. Obviously, the congressman has a lot of professional acquaintance with a lot of corrupt Democrats.
This is true. And Congressman Jordan, how did you prepare for this showdown?
I walked in and they told me what was going on, and I said, what? What am I doing? They put this whiteboard here on something. I got an eraser thing.
Well, here's what's going to happen. I will read you both clues. You'll have 30 seconds to write down your answers, and then we'll reveal it. Here's the kicker, though. Whoever wins will enjoy a 30-second pitch from the loser for either how great their podcast is or for how fantastic they are as a representative. Are you guys ready?
Ben, if I lose, though, am I going to fall into some FEC violation, campaigning? I don't know. We'll talk to the lawyers after. I'm always happy to sing Congressman Jordan's praises.
No, I think what he said is, if for some way somehow I win this thing, you got to run for Congress. I think that's what he's saying, right? Something like that.
Now the stakes are very high.
You'll lose on purpose now, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. This Democrat was involved in the wiretapping of Martin Luther King Jr., which many say was illegal. Now, on the topic of Martin Luther King, this Democrat said about MLK Jr. that, quote, he's not a serious person, and if the country knew what we know about King's ongoings, he would be finished. And ironically, this is the same Democrat who gave an impromptu eulogy after Dr. King was assassinated. Who is this Democrat?
Boy, I have no idea. I think
Yeah,
I thought it was J. Edgar Hoover.
That's what I was going to say.
Anyway, I just wrote down the Democrat from the most famous Democrat family in the '60s. I just wrote down that name.
Go for it.
The Kennedys.
Right, Kennedy.
I said LBJ. I also was going to say J. Edgar Hoover.
That's probably the right.
It's actually Robert Kennedy. So I guess Congressman Jordan gets a point.
Yeah, there's someone once said the Kennedys had they had a lot of great lines, but one of them was talking about why people are in politics. Sometimes the Kennedy said, politics, the only game left for grown-ups. And I guess they were playing it pretty seriously back then, it looks like, for goodness sake.
Fun fact, on his Wikipedia, the voice example for him is actually the eulogy that he gave, which is pretty awesome.
Martin Luther King dedicated his life to love and to justice between fellow human beings.
All right, next up, in 2006, this person won Barbara Walters Most Fascinating Person of the Year and was also an honoree at the VH1 Trailblazer Honors in 2019. During what they declared as a national emergency, this person encouraged strict national rules for the country. Later, they broke their own rules, and after being caught doing so, they said it was, quote, a setup. And this Democrat allegedly is linked to numerous insider trading scandals, and their daughter said of them that they will, quote, cut your head off and you won't even know you're bleeding. Who is this Democrat? Michael, what do you have?
Pelosi?
Congressman Jordan?
I bet the guy had the cash in the freezer. What was the Jefferson guy that had the cash in the I'm sure I'm wrong on that one.
We are all tied up. It is Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, thank goodness.
Dang,
okay.
Good call.
Yeah, right. Remember the hairdresser scandal where they locked down the world and then Nancy went in and got her hair blown out?
I made my guess on insider trading.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was COVID. That was 2020, right? That was all COVID.
Yeah.
Sometimes Ben gets his dates a little confused.
No, 2019 was VH1. No, this was.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. This Democrat charged their city $12.5 million to build a townhouse, which was 20 times what it actually cost. They then fled to Spain to avoid prison, but were recognized by locals and returned to the States. And at one time, this Democrat was the third largest landowner in all of New York.
Yeah. What was it cost again?
$2.5 million. And it was 20 times what it actually cost to build.
That would now get you like 3 minutes in a public bathroom stall in Manhattan.
Get you a phone booth if there was still a phone booth, right? New York Democrat, Congress. Can you give me another hint?
I will say it was actually a former state senator, if that helps.
Oh,
I don't know.
There were some really legendary
I'm going
guys.
blank. Dang. I hate that. That's like a forfeit.
I'm going to pick a random waspy name and just hope it's a Democrat family in New York. Pierce?
That is incorrect. It is Boss Tweed.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Well, I should have known that. What was I thinking?
Yeah, that is the most obvious name.
Pendergast, Tweed, Daley. I'm thinking other cities. Kansas City, Chicago. I'm thinking that if you're staying with that theme, Ben, then I got a chance on the next one, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. This one's actually in that same kind of vein. All right, here we go. This Democrat accepted a $20,000 controversial pay raise while the state that he was working for was going through difficult times. And during his career, they sold liquor licenses and pardons, and one of those pardons was to the son of a supporter who had been convicted of killing his ex-wife and male companion. After failing to regain power, this Democrat was given a job as a private Ford automotive dealership worker, and fun fact, this politician was once struck in the neck by a stray bullet.
I have no...
What?
Yeah.
This one's a tough one, I will say.
Oh, this one is? Yeah, this is the one that's tough?
You know, when I first started, when you started down this road, I thought of Blagojevich. I thought this is something with Blagojevich and the stuff I don't know, and it's going to get to the stuff I do know. But you never got to the stuff I do know. So it can't be Blagojevich.
Blagojevich, for all of his many sufferings, I don't think he's got a bullet in the neck. So
exactly. I never heard that.
Huh.
This is back, yeah, I mean, this is a little older too. I mean, a $20,000 pay raise isn't that controversial.
Yeah, that's right.
I will say, just to help you guys out, this is a former governor of Tennessee.
All right.
All right, what do you got, Congressman Jordan?
I just put in a Tennessee name down there.
Gore. What do you have, Knowles?
I, too, just picked a random Tennessee name, Andrew Jackson.
Yes, that might be it.
The answer is Ray Blanton.
Right. Like the bourbon. Now that's something I would be familiar with. I don't know about this politics and history, but if we were doing one about booze, I think I'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
Next question. This Democrat extorted $3 million from companies that applied for casino licenses. They were eventually found guilty of 17 of 26 counts of corruption, including racketeering, extortion, money laundering, mail fraud, and wiretapping. They have the 7th longest gubernatorial tenure in post-constitutional U.S. history. His third marriage was to a prison pen pal, and at the time of their wedding, he was 83 and she was 32, a 51-year age gap. What a Chad. This is the former governor of Louisiana. I know you guys both know it when I say it.
Yeah, but I can't write. I don't have it in 30 seconds. Oh.
No.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got, Michael?
I got nothing.
All right.
The nearest name with that age gap that came to mind was George Soros, but his age gap is only 43 years between him and his wife, and he has never been the governor of Louisiana. So
this is Edwin Edwards.
Edwin Edwards.
Oh, I was not thinking that. Who was before that? Who was before Eddie Edwards? It was what was that other big the name in like machine politics in Louisiana?
Well, it may come up later, so I don't know if you want to give away your answer.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Damn.
This is the hardest episode we've ever played of this.
What happened to sports trivia?
Yeah, good grief, man.
We'll do an easier one next time.
How about
Kurt
Gibson, like the double thing, the 3-2 count, hitting it out of the park, the one at bat in the World Series for the Dodgers. I know that kind of, well, at least some of that.
I know. The worst part is that Mr. Davies over here gets to look like the smart guy, and we look like a couple of dunces, but this guy looked it all up.
Oh,
He didn't
the hardest
know
part
this.
of this topic was finding a Democrat that wasn't corrupt. So I just picked from all these random people. You know?
Right now, go to helixsleep.com/Knowles. With everything going on in the world right now, you could really use a good night's sleep. That is why you got to check out Helix Mattress. Helix has harnessed years of extensive mattress expertise to bring their customers a truly elevated sleep experience. They just launched their new Helix Elite. The Helix Elite collection includes 6 different mattress models, each tailored for specific sleep positions and firmness preferences. I've had my Helix for about 3 years now. I absolutely adore this bed. Night after night, I sleep like a sweet little baby. I want the same for you. Helix has a sleep quiz that matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress. Because why would you buy a mattress that was made for someone else? Why do you want to get into my mattress, huh? I'm a married guy. You need to get your own mattress. Go to helixsleep.com/Knowles, take their 2-minute sleep quiz to find the perfect mattress for your body and sleep type. Their flexible payment plans make it so that a great night's sleep is never far away. Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for my listeners. Hurry on over to helixsleep.com/Knowles. With Helix, better sleep starts now.
All right, here's the next one. In addition to substantial allegations of student loan fraud, according to filings, this Democrat's campaign contributed nearly 80% of political payments to their spouse's consulting firm. And that spouse is allegedly their own sibling. Who is this Democrat?
Omar. Oh, I blew it. I blew it. I'm so excited because I know one. But that's more recent. Yeah, well,
okay, I
did
think
it wrong, Jordan.
we might agree.
I think we both, it's 2-2 now.
Yeah, 2-2.
Gentlemen, tied up.
After 20 questions,
Yeah.
All right. This Democrat allegedly forced their congressional staff to perform chores at their farm and houseboat. They were convicted of 10 felony counts, including bribery, racketeering, tax evasion, and after their expulsion, this Democrat ran as an independent candidate for another term in the House while incarcerated. He actually received over 28,000 votes, or 15%. Later, David Duke posted a letter written by this Democrat stating that they were being targeted by the United States Department of Justice, and more specifically, being targeted by the, quote, powerful Jewish lobby.
With friends like that.
Well, that changed it for me because I thought I knew that one, but that was like that crazy stuff changed it.
Go with your gut.
I guess the guy from Ohio, Jim Traficant. I don't know if that's right or not.
Michael?
Only because of the abusive treatment of this person's staff members, I chose Amy Klobuchar.
Jim Jordan is correct. James Traficant.
The sheriff from Ohio. I should have been fair. I should have told Michael he's from Ohio. I don't know if that had helped or not, but he was former sheriff and longtime member from Eastern Youngstown area.
Wow. Running from
quick side story. I'm giving a speech in suburban Youngstown probably, I don't know, 4 years ago. I mean, first they invited a conservative Republican from Western Ohio to come to Eastern Ohio. Youngstown used to be like the most Democrat area on the planet. And I go there, it's a Republican dinner and it's packed. And you're like, whoever heard of like 500 Republicans in greater Youngstown? You know, it just wasn't. And it's because they're all Trump Republicans. And Jim Traficant's widow and grandson came up to me to get a picture. I mean, that is how, I mean, I know we're not supposed to get into too much politics, but that is how Trump has changed Ohio. That part along the river, you go from Pittsburgh to follow the Ohio River to, you know, to the Mississippi, and that swath is the most pro-Trump. And it was like, it definitely has happened because I got Mrs. Traficant and her grandson who want a picture with the conservative guy from the other side of the state.
See, it's those anecdotes that I constantly try to remind some of my pundit friends who are just allergic to Trump. They've got this lifelong allergy to the man, and they just don't get it, and they all fall into the same kind of beltway gobbledygook. I say, guys, you don't understand. There actually are people in America, there are a lot of people who actually like the guy, and he's brought them over to the conservative side. The pundits, they can't get it.
Working class people. I mean, I know we're not going to get into politics, but it's Trump won Ohio by 8.5 points. Ohio used to be the bellwether state, you know, 50-50. He won it by 8.5 points in 16 and 20, and he won it that because of Appalachia, of the Southeast Ohio, that portion of our state, which used to be the swing area. Yeah. Now it's strongly Trump.
As goes Ohio, so goes the nation, we hope.
Fantastic point. Number 8. Under this person's administrative watch, the IRS and other federal agencies were illegally used to target and harass the president's political enemies. Their administration oversaw the illegal sale of arms to Mexican traffickers, and those guns have been allegedly used to murder American law enforcement officers. Who is this Democrat? Do you have your answers?
Well, I got
Obama.
Obama!
It was Obama.
Yeah, Obama.
There we go.
And
we're getting some easier ones now, guys. Now we're just flying through these. All right, number 9. While not in the public eye, this Democrat went by the name Carlos Danger when communicating with women around town.
I know. About that.
This Democrat first got into hot water after accidentally posting lewd photos himself on Twitter. It was published that this Democrat had engaged in sexting with a 15-year-old girl from North Carolina. Who is this Democrat?
Most aptly named Democrat, all natures, but art unknown to thee.
Is it I before E or E before I? I don't know.
I said I before E, but I could have been making that up.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we're 3 and 3 or 4 and 4.
That's correct. Anthony Weiner. He's out of jail. He's out of trouble. However, he's still a registered sex offender for life. So there's some good stuff there. Some
I
silver
remember
lining.
growing up in New York, that guy was supposed to be the mayor. And then he was going to be a senator. Schumer called him Mini-Me because he was this kind of Schumer-esque figure, but he was like 4'10", and then life comes at you fast.
Sure
Yes, it does. And so does this next question. This Democrat was convicted of perjury and obstruction of justice in 2008. They were released on probation after only 99 days. And despite getting off so easy, they still managed to violate the probation and get sentenced to 5 years in prison.
Man, I don't know that one.
Should I give you another clue?
Congress?
Yeah, I'd take another clue.
All right. This is the former mayor of Detroit.
Huh.
Oh, I don't gonna get it then.
I feel like every politician in Detroit went up in jail at some point.
Yeah, it doesn't narrow it down.
I'm just gonna guess a common name. I'm gonna guess Johnson. I don't know. I have no idea.
All right. Knowles, what do you have?
Okay, I'm just going to pick a random name, and I hope this is the right one. Alfred Berlistowitz.
This would be a hard name to guess. This is Mr. Kwame M. Kilpatrick, former mayor of Detroit.
Oh, yeah, now that you say it.
Yep.
You actually remember the story.
All right. This Democrat lost their 1992 re-election bid to Thomas Barlow after becoming one of a number of representatives embroiled in the Rubbergate House banking scandal. After he pled guilty to violations of federal campaign finance laws, this Democrat served 2 years in prison from 1995 to 1997. This politician ordered an aide to destroy campaign records after they were reported stolen following a phony break-in at their congressional office. Strange fact, at the last minute, this Democrat canceled a trip they had organized and planned and accepted a Kentucky speaking engagement. The flight they were supposed to be on was later shot down by the Soviet Union, killing all passengers and crew.
What?
Yeah. Who is this Democrat? Suspicious.
I actually thought you were describing a Republican there for a second. What was his name? Cunningham, I thought, but that would have been a little later. 1992.
This Democrat was basically the original, that guy back there ain't real plane person, because they predicted this and got off the plane before it got shot down.
That's very real.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Perhaps too soon, but that's a pretty amazing story. Okay, I think I've got my answer. I'll let.
I got mine, but I don't think it's right.
Michael?
Okay, what does that say?
Dan Rostenkowski. Yeah.
Okay, I wrote whatever Jim says.
Yeah.
That's my
I
answer.
don't know. I don't think mine's right.
The correct answer is Carroll Hubbard, former Kentucky representative.
Carroll Hubbard.
Kentucky. I should have known what Kentucky wouldn't have been. Why would
Famous
Rostenkowski?
Carroll Hubbard.
All right, next up. As a member of the Harvard Board of Directors, this Democrat decided there were too many Jewish students at Harvard University and helped institute a quota to limit the number of Jews admitted to Harvard. This Democrat appointed a former KKK member to the Supreme Court. And this Democrat had several extramarital affairs, including one with his wife's social secretary. In one famous interview, his wife was quoted describing their marriage duties as, quote, an ordeal to be endured. Who is this Democrat?
I think I might know.
The tough one is it just reminds you of every Democrat, right? It's like every time every clue, 10 seconds.
You always think about just like writing down Kennedy every time, but I don't think that's right.
Yeah. Though certainly being married to him would have been an ordeal to be endured. So the quote would certainly hold up.
Time.
I got nothing.
I said FDR.
FDR is correct.
Oh,
You're
no,
right.
of course. What was I thinking?
Former United States President FDR.
I figured he was early enough that he if he wanted to appoint any Democrats, that a lot of them would be KKK, and he was a Harvard guy too.
A lot of them.
It's just a numbers game at that point, you know.
Of course, I got to start thinking like a little more historical here. That was obviously that was FDR.
Well, this one's a little more modern. So this Democrat referred to the disputed 2000 presidential election results in Florida as a, quote, coup d'etat. This Democrat was convicted on 18 of 22 corruption charges, ranging from mail fraud to filing false federal tax returns, and was released from prison on April 22, 2020, citing health concerns. Their attorney argued they were at increased risk of COVID-19 because of their age and underlying health conditions. However, in May 2022, they pled guilty to the charge of interference with the IRS laws. Who is this Democrat? You know, because the Democrats never, ever, ever question an election. you know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They've only every time a Republican's been elected this century did they object, you know, but yeah, it's always.
In fairness, though, they never question the elections that they win.
Yeah.
So, how many Democrats even know the phrase coup d'etat?
At least one.
Yeah, at least one.
All right, gentlemen. 5 seconds.
I got blank. I'm blank again. Dang, that's pretty bad.
All right, Michael, what do you got?
Okay, I said Jacques Chirac because we used the phrase coup d'etat. That I don't think he was quite a Democrat, though.
I don't
or
think so.
American. Yeah.
The correct answer is Corrine Brown, served as a member of the United States House of Representatives in Florida.
Wow.
Oh, yes, she does.
All right, next up. Time magazine named this Democrat one of the 50 most promising leaders in the country. And in 2002, he was named to the Politics PA list of best dressed legislators, noting his, quote, excellence in haberdashery. He was later convicted on 23 counts of racketeering, fraud, and other corruption, and resigned 2 days later. This Democrat was set to spend 10 years in prison. However, in 2020, they were mysteriously released from federal prison after only serving about a year. Who is this Democrat? Somebody with a lot of style, very promising.
A lot of stuff.
Mysteriously released from prison?
It's kind of, they didn't really say why the release was so early.
I'm just gonna guess.
Time.
I just guessed Blagojevich again.
Yeah, I guess
know.
Blagojevich. Because
I didn't know.
You guys are Blagojevich? Well, close. This is Chaka Fattah, former United States representative.
did you just sneeze? What was that? What did you just say?
Chaka Fattah. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
I don't know. I didn't know that person.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
20 counts of racketeering with what, 1 year in prison? That's pretty good.
Next up.
Dang.
While this Democrat was indicted for charges ranging from sexual assault with a 16-year-old campaign volunteer to the solicitation of child pornography, this Democrat continued his campaign and was reelected without opposition. This Democrat initially denied the charges, which he claimed were, quote, racially motivated. This Democrat resigned in October of 1995 after a jury convicted them of sexual assault charges related to sex with an underage campaign worker and 16 counts of bank fraud. On February 18, 2014, this Democrat was arrested in Zimbabwe for overstaying their visa. Who is this Democrat?
As soon as you started, I thought I knew it, but I don't, because I had someone else in mind.
And quite a fall to go from elected American official to getting arrested in Zimbabwe. Wow.
All right. What do you have?
I don't have any. I have nothing because I don't know this.
I wrote Joseph Kony because I remember that meme and I remember he was around Africa.
Kony 2012.
That's the one. He was some sort of warlord, but I don't think he's the same fellow that we're talking about here.
No, this is Mel Reynolds, former United States representative.
Mel Reynolds. Good old all-American name, Mel Reynolds. Huh? Okay.
Yeah, it sticks out like a sore thumb in Zimbabwe is the problem.
Yeah.
All right, next up. This Democrat's father ran off with his half-sister when he was 9 years old. The father also had an affair and left with his wife's daughter from a previous marriage. Yeah.
What?
This Democrat was an FBI informant. And they also pled guilty to a misdemeanor for failing to file a state income tax return. Who is this Democrat?
This is as the world turns. This is like a soap opera. What is that? What is
the father absconded with his sister?
With his half-sister when he was 9 years old.
Okay, I think I got it.
Oh, then I'm going to lose because I don't have a clue here.
All right, Michael's show.
I'm going to say Ray Epps.
Close. This was actually Al Sharpton, American civil rights activist.
No, really?
No.
Yeah, look that one up. It's
Whoa.
crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That's amazing.
His background is even dodgier than I thought it was.
Look at the bright side, Michael. You didn't lose and you don't have to run for Congress.
This is a huge relief. Wow.
Well, we have one more question. So.
Here we go.
What?
Yeah, we have one more question.
I thought we were
This is the last question.
tie. This is going to be the old tie. Oh, I got the pin back out. What have we got?
Okay.
All right. This Democrat had an amateur boxing career that spanned 13 months, including Golden Glove competition. While governor, this Democrat tried to solicit money for a vacant Senate seat and allegedly committed wire fraud and attempted extortion.
Saying a tie. Finally, the last one.
Oh, here we go.
A tie. We got that blog. I didn't write it all out, but it's Blagojevich because he
I drew that beautiful hair pompadour on the O here.
That would be Rob Blagojevich, the former star of the Lightning Rod podcast.
Yeah.
And former governor of Illinois.
So is this the first one that's ended at a proper tie?
Well, we also had Michael Malice on Famous Dictators that ended in a tie.
Wow.
I do have a bonus question to try to settle this.
Yeah, okay, here we go. You know, this man, like, runs the country, right? You know, this guy has, like, actual jobs to do beyond trivia here.
Yeah,
with me and you.
I do have to go pretty quick, but I got to say for the bonus question, because this is, this could, like, decide who wins. You know, this is it. Maybe you can win still.
This is it.
Go
all
quick.
right.
What do you got?
Okay,
we'll go quickly. What color was Monica Lewinsky's dress?
Oh, come on.
Blue.
That's an easy
Won it right
that's
there.
not- yeah.
All right. Well, there's a bonus question.
Okay,
Which Democrat had a showing of the film Birth of a Nation played at the White House? This was also the first ever movie showing at the White House. The movie, of course, about the founding of the KKK.
I actually do have the answer on this one.
Oh, boy.
I don't, because of, like, what would that be? What year would that be?
Probably like 1984.
And it was
No, I'm just trying to throw the congressman off now.
First movie.
10 seconds.
19... I don't know. Wilson.
It is It is a proper tie, gentlemen. So,
All right. I got within 3 seconds of beating Congressman Jordan.
I just guessed the Democrat then, and I was like, that's probably that time frame. I was the Democrat president.
Yeah. You think showing a KKK movie at the White House is awful. Who's the most awful president ever? Oh, Woodrow Wilson. There we are. Very good. Congressman, very well done. Thank you for coming on. I am so relieved that you didn't at least totally trounce me. We can save it for part 2 when we have questions that we may have.
We'll look forward to it. I do got to run. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Congressman.
Well, there you have it. If you haven't already, go get a copy of Jim Jordan's latest book, Do What You Said You Would Do, Fighting for Freedom in the Swamp. And please write in the comment section and let us know who you'd like to see and what topic to cover in the next episode of Face Off.